Hello, folks, and welcome. I'm laughing already to the Sin Beef Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Gary Hill. With me tonight, as usual, is Suzanne.
Greetings from allergy hell.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
It happens.
Mhm. Also with us, and certainly not least, is Mr. Jeffrey X. Barton. How you doing, sir?
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. Indeed. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you have to get that conversation before the show for that reference right there. But maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. Oh my gosh. All right. Yeah, I'm back from a small hiatus on this show. Appreciate you guys for holding it down and getting a little goofy on me, and that's cool.
Oh, we fucked all over that episode.
Oh
It's
God, it was bad. It was funny.
it was it was funny at the time. I hope it was funny later.
That was an episode that I never released. 'Cause I lost it to my computer in the fire. But Patrick Walsh came on the show from the Scream Queens podcast. Where
Oh God.
where
Yeah.
horror where horror gets gay. I think the whole title is. He wanted me to see the whole thing. It's like a Tribe Called Quest with that guy. Um, yeah, and him and Suzanne were getting in the
Lit.
business there, where they were lit. There you go. And they were just goofing off. And I was like, how am I gonna this like a piece of shit? And then I almost want to give it to Suzanne and say, here, you do this. You did this, obviously. And then
I wasn't alone.
yeah, I guess so. Miss you, Patrick Walsh. I owe you a show, my good friend. But anywho, we'll start the show like we always start the show, and I'll ask Suzanne what she been watching lately.
Oh, to be honest, it's mostly been watched the last weekend of baseball, so now I'm full on football and waiting for hockey. And I actually, God help me, I started watching Monsters, the Menendez brothers. I am 5 episodes deep, and I swear to God, I have not laughed so hard as I have at this. It is absolutely a sight to behold. And the one thing that I have to admit cracks me up about this, the excessive use of Milli Vanilli. It
Oh,
is very overwhelming, and I
when it
just start laughing.
when it comes to murder, Suzanne, you gotta blame it on something, right? You know,
Uh-huh. Well, apparently, instead of blaming it on the rain, they blamed it on abuse.
man. No, the most I know about the Menendez brothers, I grew up at the time, would have been be newsworthy stuff when I was probably about, I don't know, 8 or 9 or so. Again, I'm showing the age gap here. Is that their father was the one that owned Live Entertainment,
Yeah.
and his murder is the reason why I don't have a proper release of Fright Night Part 2 yet. And still waiting. So that hurts my feelings. And the naughty,
Oh, that's terrible.
oh my gosh. Anything else, Sue?
Oh, yeah. And I did a little bit. I caught part of this Albert Brooks documentary, so I ended up having to go and watch Real Life. If you ever get a chance,
Yay!
it is he did some amazing movies. I forgot how much I enjoyed most of his films. And it kind of ties in because he used to do the shorts on at least the first season of Saturday Night Live. He's really brilliant at, just kind of doing the slice of American life. So it was really, it was really interesting to watch, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I also decided, yeah, I watched The Omen. I watched The Omen Part 2 a while ago, and I'm like, I kind of got to just, put my feet down and just watch the final conflict. I really don't see any need to watch anything else past the final conflict. Hell, I tried to watch the first Omen. I got about halfway through, and I'm like, I'm going to preserve my sanity here.
I disagree. If you watch the Omen Final Conflict, you watch the Omen 4 back to back, you're gonna have a good laughter every day because Final Conflict has a baby killing montage that Dave beats the band, and
Uh,
the fourth
I
one,
remember I watched part 4.
it's just funny. It's just funny. But poor Michael Lerner's about to get killed by I think her name was Delia, the little Damien girl, and all of a sudden this undead singing choir shows up to accompany him to his death. It's hilarious. Come on now.
Oh, I haven't watched. I did watch part 4, but I just don't feel the need to watch it again.
It's like if you're wondering where that choir music was coming from, well, apparently it's the undead choir that's walking with Michael Lerner wherever he goes, and yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. And how loud was your father-in-law screaming last week when Tennessee won?
Hmm?
I was not in the house for that, so I don't know. But
I
I'm
was the week
sure,
before. My bad.
yeah, there was, well, oh yeah, that was a bye week last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't, we've been spending a lot of time over with the kids, so I think I missed the Ric Flairing that I would normally have heard.
That's awesome.
I wish I could get just a surreptitious recording of him doing the redneck mating call every time there's a touchdown.
Oh God, please, you do need to do that and send it to me.
It's impressive. I'll put it that way.
Awesome. You really have to capture that and send it to me.
Well, my father's greatest sports moments were him sitting on the chair in my living room, whenever the White Sox would score a home run. So it was about Hawk Harrelson. He would say right along with him, "You can put it on the board." Yes, my father would be right along with him saying that. So So yeah, when the Sox won the World Series, they did it the year after my father died. So I call that World Series my father's cruel joke from beyond the grave of the Sox winning the World Series.
That's frustrating as hell, man.
It is what it is. Oh my gosh. X, what have you been watching, man?
I've been watching a lot of stuff that I've already seen a billion times, but I will say this: I did watch a movie called The Coffee Table,
Oh, I've heard of
and you've heard of that, yeah? It's supposed to be like this incredibly extreme, dark sort of horror movie with a very realistic tone.
I,
Um,
I just hear you're depressed when it's over. That's what I hear about that movie.
um, I think a lot of people probably would be. I laughed my ass off during that movie. I thought it was incredibly funny. And I don't think I'm supposed to think that. I think that I'm supposed to think that this is just, God, once it's bad, and then you think it can't get worse, and then it gets worse, and terrible things just happen to these people. And I'm by myself, of course, so I'm laughing out loud. I think it's absolutely hilarious. So if you have a very dark sense of humor, then you'll probably enjoy The Coffee Table. It has nothing to do with coffee. Well, not much. But yeah, I recommend that if you're fucked up enough to enjoy something like that.
Oh, I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, it's just from the get-go, from the married family bitching at each other to everything that happens after that with terrible salespeople and weird kids that live down the hall who are not the kids in the hall, which is difficult for me to wrap my head around.
So no Kevin McDonald then, you were telling me?
Yeah, no Kevin McDonald, no Scotty Thompson, nothing. It's terrible. But yeah, definitely check that out.
Cool. I watched a bunch of stuff, and I'll talk about a couple things I was going to talk about my last appearance on the show, and watched some new stuff. Beetlejuice I saw, and that's a film that people are praising, and I just don't see it as far as like, hey, this was so great, and you know what? I like this, and this. I don't share these feelings with Beetlejuice, and I like part of it, and the rest of it you can keep, and it is like the Ritz crackers of legacy sequels. It's only good because you waited 35 years for it. Okay, this is why
Come here, Des.
you waited 35 years for it, and this is why people are saying, "Oh, it's so good," because there's a lot of flaws in it, and it's a little too late for me. And they replaced Harry Belafonte with MacArthur Parker. They fucking ruined it, and I don't like that very much.
Was it the original version or the Donna Summer version?
I don't know. They sing it as a cast at the end of the movie.
Oh goodness. Okay, I retract my question.
because spoilers, Lydia makes a deal with Beetlejuice to save her daughter, played by Jenny Ortega. And in return, she said she would marry him finally. And this is a wedding scene where they all sing MacArthur Park. And it's not
Okay, it just sounds terrible.
it's not the acting, it's the execution. So after that, I watched him tried and true Tim Burton stuff that I love because he'll bitch so much about the Dark Shadows movie that I love. I watched that and enjoyed the fuck out of that because one cruel thing that Beetlejuice does is they ruin and they waste the Monica Bellucci performance of that movie by just like having her hang around and then go away and die unceremoniously. Now if they would have done her, if you had done he did, oh, what's her name? Not even Mendez. The villain in Dark Shadows. Like, help me out here. I forget.
Well, you're breaking out.
No.
Okay.
No,
Who in which movie?
In Dark Shadows, the one that's after Barnabas in that movie, or sex or whatnot. I forget the actress's name. I'm drawing a blank. But yeah, they do.
Eva, what's her face?
Eva Longoria?
No.
Eva Gabor?
No.
She's in Nightmare. No, that's Zsa Zsa. That's in Nightmare 3.
This could drive me nuts, though. So here we go. IMDb.
Yep.
And there's Duchess.
Eva Green.
Eva Green, yeah. So Eva Green, a lot better in Dark Shadows than they did Monica Bellucci. They just wasted one of the most beautiful French creatures on the planet who just turned 60. You wouldn't fucking know by looking at her. Yeah, that's your biggest trespass there, Beetlejuice. But on the Dark Shadows, good stuff, fun. Not like the soap opera, really. Not goes. It's all done for comedy. Go and watch the Cooper Woman, killing hippies. It's all fun, Hang on a second. Just get out of here, bro. You're causing me to edit, cat. Go. Christ. Yeah, you. All right, back to reality here. I watched something me and X both watched. I watched Cuckoo, and
oh yeah,
that's a new we're talking about. And it was enjoyable. It was different. About it because we give too much of the plot away. But I'm much torn, like most people, to where the ending was kind of like it was kind of lays there, and it's a film about a girl and her family who moved to this community, and she's has experiments done on her and has a really interesting plot point to the point of it's very different, and I don't want to give it away. Just put it that way. What do you think, X? I'm sorry.
Excuse me. Sorry, I was about to choke. But I didn't. Oh, aren't you all lucky? I think it does have an interesting plot. I'm not completely sure that I understand everything that happened, but I will say this: friggin' Dan Stevens can pretty much do anything. As far, if I'm correct, he's a British dude. But think about it. In Abigail, he had like that tough, almost Boston accent. And in this one, he's a very convincing German. So his accents are just fantastic. And I love watching him in anything. He was pretty much the high point of Cuckoo for me. Yeah, I'm not sure I quite understood what the fuck happened in that movie. I just kind of watched and went, okay, I am making connective leaps without any real verification that what I'm thinking is correct. I'm okay with that. I have lost everyone.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Did we
Yeah,
lose?
I am on mute again. There we go. By the way, I watched Strange Darling because that's a film everybody else is talking about. And
don't spoil that for me. I've heard it's amazing.
I am not going to spoil anything. But it runs like very non-linear, like a Pulp Fiction does. It runs in chapters, but they tell the chapters in a different order than that they go, obviously. But it all comes together in plot because it's one of those things where there's a killer and you see dead people around and you don't know who the killer is, but you're very surprised when the turn happens. And Kyle Gallner is then not intolerable in that movie. He that's probably the wrong word I'm looking for here, but people tend to hate Kyle Gallner, and bad things happen to him in horror films, much like Justin Long, and he doesn't suck in this movie. But you're wondering why a killer would carry a gun, and you'll find out why a killer is carrying a gun in this movie. And I don't, again, no spoilers here. It's just enjoyable, and I talk about this with Suzanne earlier. It's shot by a first-time DOP. Can you guess who that is, X?
A first-time director of photography?
Yeah. It's
hopefully someone related to Dean Cundy.
It's somebody you've known it from TV and movies since forever. It's Giovanni Ribisi. Yeah.
No kidding. I did not know that.
I found that out from somebody else, and I was like, well, I respect this film more now because it looks great. It's shot in 35 millimeter, and it says it right at the beginning that it's shot in 35 millimeter, and just a good time until the end. And nobody has a happy ending except for the person at the end of the movie. Let's put it that way, because
okay, fair.
There's a lot of dead bodies in this movie. Like, yeah, this one won, and yeah. But Strange Darling, lives up to the hype, I'd say. Go check it out. Other stuff I've rewatched. Oh, I have to mention this. I watched Rollerblade for the first time, the notorious Rollerblade movie. Post-apocalyptic, full frontal nude women, or nuns, I guess, in a wasteland, fighting other gangs, looking for a crystal or something. And there's an awful puppet in the movie. This movie was made about $1,000, but I can't stop watching it. Apparently there's like 6 of these movies. I had no idea, but I may have to go watch more of them because it was terrible. But stuff kept happening to say, hey, I'll keep watching this. So it's strange. The Rollerblade series. I think there's a Rollerblade 7, and then there was a Roller Gator, which may be connected. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a low budget movie, and it shows. It shows. But you know what? If you want to see fully nude girls praying to some weird smiley face triangle god with nuns, go check out Rollerblade, because they probably didn't get paid.
So it's witchcraft on wheels.
I don't even know, man, because it's so strange, and I don't think it's important to give plot points to Rollerblade, but they pray to some weird god that when you smile, when it flashes light and a smiley face comes up on the screen, it heals any wound you could possibly have. And nuns and fully nude women, they're probably gonna get paid to be there, and so the way I feel bad for them because they didn't get paid to be in the movie, probably. Maybe some spam on the craft service table, perhaps.
Well, I mean, you had me at nuns.
Yeah. Wasteland nuns. Yeah, that's about it for me, though. I watched more, but I couldn't tell you what that is. But tonight we're going in with one of X's favorites for sure for one of these films about insubordinate humans who are made of parts and get sacrificed in unique ways. With Parts, the Clonus Horror, and Logan's Run. They're very different, but at the same time, kind of the same in certain ways. Yeah, that's what we're doing tonight. And we'll start in order, I believe. No, let's start out of order. We'll talk about Clonus Horror first, I think, because this is 79. Logan's Run is 77 or 76. I forget. Let's see. Yeah, 76. 77 was the Logan's Run TV show that I ever watched. Okay. The Clonus Horror, 1979. You'll hear more about that after this trailer.
Something frightening is happening at a secret place called Clonus. Will the truth ever get out?
You all know what I stand for. I think it's time that I started paying back this country for some of the good things it's given me.
It's all very step-by-step, standardized, practical.
they watch us? For what reason?
I don't know. Lena, there's something strange happening here that we're not allowed to know about.
There's something wrong. We've been busted into.
Clonus, a place where science and nightmare merge.
What are you worried about? It can't get away.
Where no one can escape the horrors that await them.
Suppose Churchill or Roosevelt had been able to live for nearly 200 years and still function for the world. Or Stalin. Or Hitler.
No! Please, no! Your ear is just like mine. I just noticed.
Even I'm expendable if it means keeping Clonus alive.
They'll stop at nothing to keep it a secret. Because at Clonus, the only thing they don't use is the scream. Peter Graves, Dick Sargent, Timothy Donnelly, Paulette Green, Keenan Wynn. Parts, the Clonus Horror. The motion picture that will steal your heart and your liver and your kidneys and your eyes and your limbs.
The Clonus Horror from 1979. Your cheapo plot synopsis is this. In a seemingly perfect society, one member discovers the truth about the outside world as well as their ultimate purpose. This is directed by Robert S. Fivesman, like Slap Me Five, I guess. Strange.
Fiveson.
Fiveson.
Yes. This is how it feels to chew Fiveson.
Was a producer on a lot of things, but didn't direct many things. Produced In Search of for 5 episodes. That's probably the biggest thing that you can look at right now is 5 In Search of episodes. So didn't do much, and that's kind of I don't even know. Written by Ron Smith, Bob Sullivan, and Merle A. Shriebman. I'd like to find out more what they did because I think this film was very interesting. Stars Peter Graves. Where are we at here? Eileen Dietz shows up as Dana. Yes, indeed. Tim Donnelly as Richard. Where are we at here? Dick Sargent, not Dick York, as Dr. Jameson. Had to say it like that, because, one's just called Clone. There's more people in this film. We'll talk more about this. And the Keenan Wynn, I'm sorry, how could I forget as Jake Noble in this movie, your acting royalty in the film, Keenan Wynn. Clonus Horror. I enjoyed the hell out of this. I'll kick it to Suzanne first and find out what her thoughts are in Clonus Horror.
Oh God, this is one of Pat's favorite movies, so of course I had to dive in. I love this movie. What they did with what they had to work with, and just such a low budget, but managed to get everything across. Let me just start off with evil Dr. Dick Sargent. He pulled that off. I was not expecting him to be that evil. I love the idea that rich people farming their own clones to eventually replace their parts as they got older, and the big conspiracy theory. It was done very, very well. I love it. But I only have one issue with this movie. The pacing is a little off because you start off on the happy note, then you get like the real horror of the thing, a little bit of happy, some dude trying to figure some stuff out. Then it gets really super exciting. Then it kind of slows down a little bit. It's just that's the only problem I have with the movie is the pacing. But I just love the idea. And you guys all know about the 7-figure settlement that DreamWorks had to pay out with this movie, right?
Yeah, because of the island that Michael Bay.
Yeah. I mean, did they actually think that they were going to get away with it?
It's Michael Bay, bruv. He can do anything.
Yeah, well,
films.
Well, yeah, well, that's pretty much a given. But yeah, I guess it was an undisclosed 7-figure settlement over the copyright infringement. I think there were over like 100 points of similarity. I mean, did they think all of the principals were dead? This is the one thing that I have a hard time wrapping my head around. That no one would notice. It was a movie that nobody had ever seen. Did they really, truly believe this? But I put Michael Bay up there with James Cameron. They're just horrible human beings. But the thing about this movie, the parts that are really intense are so incredibly intense. You don't think certain things are going to play out the way that they do. I mean, I really, okay, spoilers coming. Everybody dies. Let's face it. It's not a happy ending. You have to, I've always felt a little bit, let down by the fact that everybody dies. They are ruthless to keep their secret, but they've got the most powerful backing in the world behind them. So yeah, they probably can get away with it until something got leaked, and you don't know any more about that because the film ends right there. It's one of those movies, every once in a while I think to myself, well, maybe if it was made in more capable hands. Well, it was made, again, and it was truly awful. I think maybe we just leave this one alone and just let it be what it is. You get kind of caught up in the drama of, these clones. They really, that's all they are. They mostly lobotomize them, but, they're still people at the heart. And then they unceremoniously, hey, you're going to America. Cool. Enjoy your party. And, oh, here, drink this. And you do get another 30 seconds of sheer horror before you go to sleep.
It was a good twist. Like, hey, you're going to go, you're sooner in a foreign land. Hey, you're going to America. And then America is the lab, I guess, where they go get preserved.
Oh, yeah. It's just, there's something just, it's so incredibly intelligent and well thought out about this movie that it really, it's almost forgotten. And I did love, this was the only movie that 5 Cent ever directed. Yeah. And it's so what? I mean, you have Peter Graves. You don't have a huge, big money cast here, but you've got people that are incredibly talented. I mean, Keenan Wynn. This man has been acting was acting for decades until he got blacklisted for a while, and it's so well put together, and it's such an interesting topic. So yeah, this has always been a favorite. I was gonna go pull out my copy, but it was too nice out, so I sat outside and ended up watching it on YouTube. So it's easily available. It's a good movie. It truly is. It just captures that. I always like 70s sci-fi. It's more there's an intelligence behind it. It's not mindless spaceships and laser beams, which I really don't like. There is a science behind it. So yeah, this one's always been a big favorite of mine.
Oh. By the way, the thing my mother would love the most is Tim Donnelly, the guy who plays Richard, our running clone in this movie. Did 122 episodes of Emergency, the TV show.
Oh wow!
My mother loved that show. She loved her some Kevin Feige, I guess. X. What about you, sir?
Let me just say, I do love me some Julie London from Emergency. I'm sort of weird, I guess, in this way, because especially in a movie like Parts, where I don't mean to look for logic, and when I do, it's in the weirdest freaking places. Like, can I accept that, I don't know, I guess it's the University of Southern California where the cloning compound is, where everyone just wears tracksuits and looks like Susan Anton in Golden Girl? I can accept that. I can accept the fact that they will take clone parts and ship them off to rich people. It's like, for the cost of a cup of coffee a day, you too could have a spleen waiting for you, brand new, should yours go awry. I can accept that. I'll take it. What I can't understand is the president-elect of the United States just roaming around suburbia and even on a boat with no Secret Service protection. How is that possible? That man would have guards up his bunghole. He can't just scoot around unnoticed. That's the stuff that bothers me about this. Also, you were talking about how the scenes were intense, and you know what? Some of them actually really are. The harvesting of clone parts is excruciating to watch. It's really yee. But once Richard realizes that something is amiss, once he learns where Milwaukee is, which is really the key to the entire mystery. Oh my God, Wisconsin, it solved everything. There is more running and more hallways in this movie than in Shakma. Tubes, underground corridors, streets. It's just, they may as well have been, sponsored by Reebok or something. It's so athletic. That all being said, I really don't hate this movie. I think it's funny, Suzanne, that you were like, oh no, everybody dies. And I'm like, Suzanne, you love the 70s. You understand that is the bleakest decade for filmmaking so far. If anybody had lived, I would have been disappointed.
Oh, I know. But that's, I think, what that drives the point home. And that last scene, it happens that when he's announcing his run for presidency, even though we all know what happens, and you just kind of sit there with your jaw hanging out there, even though you didn't. There's, how can I put this? He's there.
It's an inevitability.
Yes. And then at the very last second where they cut the movie, so what can you tell us about this, and holds up the tape. So it's just, but that's, like I said, I think if it did have a happy ending, I'd hate it. I'd absolutely hate it.
But, that's in line with other political movies of the 70s as well. So, All the President's Men ends with sound bites and a teletext machine. The Parallax View ends like that. Winter Kills ends like that. So it's very much in that vein of, we are in control and you are fucking not. And we can do anything we want.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't hate the movie. There are parts where I probably shouldn't have laughed as loudly as I did. I don't.
Okay, I have to admit, there's one scene where I just kind of, I chuckled when Lena's standing in the window when he makes his way back home.
Fucking funny, man. Fucking funny.
But it's creepy, but kind of funny at the same time, because she's got like that goofy ass permagrin, and you know what happened to her, and he's just a clone. He is only a clone and doesn't quite. He doesn't know, but it just is weird that it's like I said, mannequin like, but being lobotomized. That's kind of what happens.
It's like they adorably gave her cerebral palsy, and she's making that face right there.
Yeah. She's got that clone lazy eye, which happens after a lobotomy, I guess. I don't know. Feel free to cut this out. I'll just tell you guys, but the fate of the nobles of Keenan Wynn and Lorene Tuttle, when their house fucking blew up.
I was not happy.
I laughed so hard. I'm so sorry. I thought that was so funny. Oh my God! Just out of nowhere, we're having a good time, isn't it a lovely? Wow,
Well,
beautiful.
after she's getting frisky with him, like, my God, let the man get it on one more time.
Turn on ABC. The wheel is on, honey.
So yeah, that made me laugh. But yeah, very good bleakness, good 70s sci-fi political drama sort of combined. I really hated how the clones were not educated a lot, so they all sounded like supreme dumbasses for the first 45 minutes of the flick. I know it's necessary. It still got on my nerves. And yet I'd watch it again. I'm over here nitpicking shit of a movie that I would watch in a heartbeat. So never mind me. I've just undercut everything that I've said about the movie.
Oh, no, Pat wants to watch it this weekend. So I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it again. We'll watch our good copy and not the shitty one that's on YouTube.
Like, in the county they live, where this, by the way, this review is brought to you by Adidas, because, those tracksuits are just banging throughout this whole film. And, they're supposed to be, sort of mindless, because they're not supposed to think about, their situation or what's going on. And while they all have the same, almost like cattle tags on their ears. That's what it reminded me of. Like when you tag your head of cattle.
Yeah, those clips.
Those little clips. And yeah, they're supposed to question anything. So I can see why they kept them pretty mindless. But yeah, Clonus Horror, man, first time watch for me. Again, to tail end of the 70s, I really enjoyed myself, pretty much the whole time with this, because, you find out, you don't wait like an hour for like a slow burn to find out what's going on here. You kind of find out like right away, like, hey, you're going to America, and they have a whole party for him, and then next thing you know, he's sitting on the table getting examined, and here, you drink this, and by the way, we're gonna seal you for freshness, and then that's basically what they do. They freeze dry him in those bags, and
Neil Diamond tried to warn us about this.
With what? I'm sorry.
With coming to America.
Oh yeah,
they're coming to America today. In bags.
Today.
On the corridors and on the planes. They're going in a Ziploc bag.
They're visiting Wisconsin.
It reminds me of the first episode of Erie, Indiana, if you guys know what that show is. It was a Joe Dante production. It was on NBC, to where they had the twins on the show, and the weird mother, and the way they stayed young was the mother was a Tupperware salesperson, and she had giant Tupperware to keep her and her sons preserved. And this was the weird thing about the episode. And that's brilliant television. I love Erie, Indiana. I digress.
That is one of the only episodes of Erie, Indiana I ever watched.
It's fun. This film, I like the idea of this whole organ harvesting thing. Like, rich assholes got money, or well, in case of Keenan Wynn, his brother has money to make him a clone. Because I love that reveal when it finally makes it to, I forget we called it, his person or his somebody, and it turns out to be his other part. And yeah, you have that reveal, and just evil being connected everywhere. I love that this whole Santa Clara, California vibe, to where the guy that's driving the Dr. Pepper truck is as connected as the guy walking down the street to say, hey, we see this car going down the road here, and it's going this way. And I don't know what dream of dreams. This is the most unrealistic thing about the film for me, is that fucking Oldsmobile thinking it was going to catch a Lotus. If that Lotus just like went like full speed, I don't understand that logic, but I'm hearing over there. But the only real crime for this film for me altogether is that I wish there was more of it. I wish this was a 70s like miniseries, or like this was based on a series of books that I can go explore the books maybe. But I don't think it was that crazy successful to say like kind of like V was, where V had like a series of novels that you could check out. And but yeah, I wish there was more of this and more exploration of this world of creating parts for the future, spare parts, if you will. And just I know the characters are mindless, but they're written that way. They're not supposed to guess where they are or what's going on. So the fact that they're all kind of dense and stupid and just like running, not free thinking. Because there's that one scene where the guy says, "Well, I just didn't want to win this time." Like for like, but this one's broken. Uh, but yeah, good stuff. The writers I mentioned didn't do much besides this, so I don't know why that is. Maybe again, it wasn't very successful, but I enjoy my time with it. It's very 70s going into the 80s, so I I would watch this again. Let's go with that. X final thoughts, sir.
I have a point that I can't prove. I remember, or I think I remember, this movie being broadcast on NBC. I may be conflating that with Colossus, the Forbid Project. But the interesting thing to me about the Clonus Horror is when that President-elect knight, Peter Graves, gets up to make a speech, the only microphones there are NBC microphones. So like no other network cared about what this guy had to say.
And by the way,
I've never even noticed that.
I like the end of this movie because the whole plot is dependent on this tape they stole, and the fact that they got the word out before their untimely demise. What was pretty cool. By the way, tell us about the Clonus thing, because you know what's going to happen next. The company is fucked, or they're going to move location or whatever. Westworld has fallen, if you will. So I think the end is perfect for me. I think it's great.
No, I agree. I think if there were a sequel, they should have told the clones they're going to Mexico. That's how part 2 should have been. Yeah, I'd watch this again. It's fun, even if it's a little long in the tooth for me. Like I said, so much running, so much non-natural fabric. But yeah, it's a good time.
Cool, Suzanne.
Is that for me? My only big problem with the movie is, and you both have pointed out the same things. The pacing is terrible. There's not really any even keel, and I don't think that was done to keep everybody unsettled. I think it was done because these are, from the looks of it, a lot of first timers that didn't quite understand how to pace, because there are a lot. There are certain things they could have expanded on that they didn't, and certain things that they expanded on that they really didn't need to. I still, once again, this is way up there. I love how bleak it is. I love the ending. It's always just going to be that for me. I can't even count how many times I've watched it, and apparently I have to watch it again this weekend, which I'm down with. So yeah, it's great, bleak 70s sci-fi.
You know you're watching a 70s movie when the title graphic has no capital letters.
Yep. They couldn't afford them.
No, too much money. Didn't have room for that in post-production.
No.
Yeah, it's like Suzanne said. I think in more capable hands, this film, and not that I didn't enjoy time with it, because I think it was shot very well. The actors they had, did what they could with what they had. I think it's paced incredibly well, because I feel the desperation like through most of the movie. So I'm not bored with it. I checked the time one time, and it was like an hour in. I couldn't believe that it was an hour in already, and only like 30 minutes to go. But in a Don Siegel's hands, so somebody like that this film, it could have been like a much bigger production, and that intensity would have been exponentially more for me. But yeah, I enjoyed my time with it, though. I would watch this again, like you guys said. Go find it on YouTube. I found it on our friend's video server, but that's I digress. But the Clonus Horror from 1979. Check it out. Next up, though, is a true blue classic that I know X has been chomping at the bit to talk about. So we programmed it in a show, and I know it's Logan's Run from 1976. Delete. No, that's wrong. That's Matt Hardy. Renew. Right to the trailer.
MGM puts the future in the palm of your hand. This is the 23rd century, where sophisticated technology has created an automated world of wonders. A world beyond imagination until now. It is filled with beauty and the vitality of youth. Pleasure is the way of life. But in the 23rd century, life lasts 30 years. Not one day less, not one day more. When the crystal in the palm of your hand flashes its final message, your time is up. But there are a few rebels who run in search of sanctuary. Logan, trained to enforce the law, dares to become a runner himself. He and the girl who loves him become the hunted when they set off on Logan's Run, a fantastic adventure through the 23rd century. The 23rd century will be here sooner than you think. Coming this summer, Logan's Run.
Logan's Run from 1976, directed by Michael Anderson. He gave us some cool stuff, including Doc Savage, the Man of Bronze, Orca, of course, because you gotta love Orca, and some other good stuff. But those two things alone should say, hey, this guy's aces in your book. Writer David Zelag Goodman, I forget what he wrote. Michael F. Nolan, but I know George Clayton Johnson because he helped write a good bulk of the Twilight Zone original series. So that's where I know George Clayton Johnson from. Stars Michael York as Logan 5, right? Right, X? Doesn't
Logan
say
5.
it here. Yeah,
Logan 5 and Francis 7.
Yeah.
First name and number.
Jenny Agutter looking so good in this movie as Jessica. I forget. Who cares? Richard Jordan as Francis, number 7 apparently. Roscoe Lee Brown unceremoniously plays box in this movie. I'll talk about that in a minute. Farrah Fawcett shows up as Holly with all of her Fawcett do, and then her hair goes flat. It's very sad. Michael Anderson Jr. as Doc, the guy that's going to change his face. And the king of kings of this movie, in my opinion, Mr. Peter Ustinov, one of those guys that played Doctor Who. It's old man who has many cats, and we'll talk about that too, I'm sure. I'll start with Suzanne because X is going to gush on this, and I'm fine with that. But go for it, Sue, and tell us your thoughts on Logan's Run.
Oh no! I really you got to go to X. You got to.
X, gush on Logan's Run, so I know you want to.
Deep breath. Holy damn, I love this fucking movie. It is so good. It is so fun. And let me tell you one reason why. It's very personal for me. In the 70s, of course, there were a whole bunch of sci-fi blockbusters that came out. Logan's Run, I was not allowed to see, even though it was rated PG, but my parents wouldn't let me watch Logan's Run, which is very disappointing. I wanted to go to the theater and see this. The next year, Damnation Alley came out, and I was allowed to go see it. And you know, every few years I go back and I revisit Damnation Alley to see if I like it, and I just never do. It's just a terrible, disappointing movie. That's the highest point of respect I can give it, is that there are pictures and they do move. So when I finally got to see Logan's Run, it was worth the wait. This movie has a lot to say about a lot of different topics, but most of all, it looks fantastic. We get to see, and it's obviously a miniature when you see it from a distance, but this great domed city and shuttle cars going through clear tubes like a habit trail for humans, and there are fountains, and there are pink lights, and they have their own government sponsored belief system, and there's a cutoff date for how old you can be. It's there are a lot of topics here that are very heady, let's put it that way. Michael York as Logan 5 is really, really good, because he starts off as a complete government guy. He's an assassin. Sorry. What's the term they use? They retire people who try to escape.
Sandman.
Yeah. Excuse me. He's a Sandman, and their guns turn people into piles of sand that people who are on zero-turn floating vacuum cleaners come by and suck up off the floor of the mall. I think that's how it's like a carnival, just sawdust over puke, and then, Lenny with 9 teeth comes over and just sweeps it up. Same concept. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Please excuse me. Okay, so Big Dome City, but Logan is a believer in everything that he has been taught. And it's not until he receives the tiniest of clues that he realizes that maybe things are not all great in the domed city. The people who reach 30 years of age get onto this thing called the carousel, and they're dressed up in like this crazy sort of hazmat suit meets corpse paint. And they get on the carousel, and it spins around, and the idea is that if you make it to the top of this void, then you will renew, and you are reincarnated, and you will come back as another version of yourself. This movie's made in 76. If you haven't seen it now, I'm sorry, I'm about to spoil it for you. Fucking why would you not see this? Logan learns that nobody fucking renews. Everybody dies. And these people that he's been chasing are all trying to get to a place called Sanctuary, where they can live past the age of 30. And along the way, he picks up Jessica, Jenny Agutter, who is like he finds her in the Star Trek transporter version of Tinder, and they hook up. Well, they don't hook up right away, but they join together to get to Sanctuary. So there's a chase, because Francis, who is Logan's friend, now has to chase Logan and Jessica. So it's the Sandman chasing the Sandman. And the further they get into the city, the more they realize how much they've been lied to. They're, weird little angry children who live on a lower level called cubs, and they have knives, and they have bad teeth, and they've obviously gotten an advanced script for the warriors, and they all wear vests and weird shit. And then, Gary's going to talk about this later, they run into a robot called Box. And I think the reason that he's called Box is because it looks like he was constructed out of cardboard boxes that were covered with aluminum foil, and then his arms are just, dryer duct. He looks like something that a fourth grader would make for a science fair. But he's got all of these people who've tried to make it to Sanctuary frozen. And he's like, proteins and greens from the sea. He's like very proud of his job as a food processor. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. It's 1976. The film stock that Anderson chose is very glossy. This movie has sort of a sheen to it. It doesn't quite look like a video recorded television show, but it's bright and it pops, and stuff like that really comes out like in the Dome City when they go through the sex shop, and everything is in slow motion, and there's pink smoke coming down from the roof, and everybody's doing the milkshake, and it's just a slow motion kind of odd journey through the second level of Dante's disco hell. I realize that if you haven't seen the movie, I'm not making a damn bit of sense. So let me say this. We are dealing with the topics of ageism and bodily autonomy. We are dealing with corporate religion, and we are dealing with, that's what I'm looking for. I think we're dealing with freedom here. I think it's a movie about finding your own way and being who you are and doing that regardless of what anyone else tells you to do. I don't want to give away the complete ending, but it's satisfying for sure. And I have to stop talking now because I've lost complete track of where I was going. So yay, now your turn, Suze.
Okay. No, I agree with you. I said I'm not a huge sci-fi fan, but there are certain types of sci-fi that I hold very dearly. I like cerebral sci-fi, and this truly counts. I've always I agree with you. It is absolutely stunning to watch. There's not a wasted frame in the entire movie. Everything is there for a reason. And what I find interesting is the fact that, Boxman froze all, 1,056 of the runners. It's like they almost encourage them to run. So it's a food source. It has to be a food source. So it's Soylent Green.
I was just about to say that. It is the Swanson TV dinner version of Soylent Green.
Yeah. And it's also, on top of that, you have to admit, it's a bit of an adventure film. Once they get away and they're trying to make their way through this terrain, they don't know what to do. They're experiencing temperature shifts that they've never experienced before. The freezing cold, and at least they were smart enough to find the skins and try to keep themselves warm with those. But how many people probably died there? But I mean, the thing about him being a Sandman, but he was a little bit wiser where combat was concerned, where probably most of the runners were not, because he was of a more law enforcement mentality. And this is a very satisfying movie. And it's like Carousel, it's one of those things, I absolutely do not want this explained to me, but they all of a sudden they just kind of pop. There's not really any, are they being electrocuted? Are they being what? I have no idea why. That's just one of those little points that my brain is just like, what's actually happening here? So it's just one of those
exploding barbed wire match of death.
Yes, it is. Perfect. The exploding barbed wire match of death. Love it. And there's very little that you can take against this movie. So my dog is sitting here flapping her tail and making me laugh. Once again, perfect casting, perfect direction. They even got an Oscar for this, for I think visual effects for its time.
Achievement.
The special achievements. It does have a lot to say. I think it's one of the more perfect of the dystopian futures. And I think you've seen that theme of being basically that put down when you hit a certain age. I mean, almost a little bit in Clonus, because they get them into their most peak perfect physical condition, and then they're put into freeze-dry baggies. So it's the obsession with being young and basically not spoiling the gene pool until you're 30. There's some, and you hit on just about every topic. And this one truly does. Like I said, I think it's about one of the more perfect tales of a dystopian future. And you're right about the ending, because the ending is, you feel it in the feels. You really feel it. I was just pissed off that he left his cats, but the cats will be fine. I'm sure he'll want to go back to them. Or, hey, you got lots of young people now, they can start carrying them.
And maybe they can start reading some T.S. Eliot and name cats on their own.
Absolutely. It's just, there's just so much here. You're right about the way that it was filmed. There's a sheen, there's a brightness that I mean, I wonder if it's done purposefully to just to have that, youthful glow. It's just a wonderful film, and I mean, you have got some of the masters at work on this. I mean, William F. Nolan, George Clayton Johnson. My God, they wrote for Twilight Zone and Dark Room, and I think William F. Nolan wrote Burnt Offerings, or he did the screenplay. They both did many, many screenplays in the sci-fi and horror genre.
And David Goodman co-wrote Straw Dogs with Sam Peckinpah.
Oh shit, that's right. So I mean, dude, there's absolutely no way that this combination could ever miss with this. They hit all of the proper topics. And like I said, the 70s were a strange time. And for having its bleak moments, it does end on in a very thoughtful note. Well, it's my thoughts anyway.
I don't know. Never say never about big names coming together and it not missing.
That's true.
I've seen Heaven's Gate.
Oh God, how?
Because I saw it when it came out. Because I am that old. So yeah.
I mean, just what I meant was why.
Oh, dude, because Michael Cimino is a fantastic director. Great. I had more fun watching Roller Boogie than I did watching the roller skating scene in Heaven's Gate. So.
Oh God, Michael Cimino, he literally had one movie that was good, and everything else was utter trash. I mean, I wanted to like Black Rain so bad. I actually tried to watch it about 5-6 times before I'm like, okay, yeah, I give up. This guy sucks.
He got obsessed with Asia for a while, didn't he? Because he had that movie and he had Year of the Dragon with Mickey Rourke, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Year of the Dragon's one I was thinking of. I don't think he did Black Rain. Wasn't that one of the Scott brothers?
No, I thought he did that. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Oh, man, my turn. Logan's Run is a film that I didn't see till I was in my way in adulthood. And this was after I saw the film Free Enterprise, which if you know, you know. Eric McCormick and Rayford Weigel, who's actually a sportscaster for St. Louis, I think now. He has that. I'm obsessed with Star Trek, but in dream sequences they have, because when I'm going to turn 30, Eric McCormick from Will and Grace, and dream sequences of when you turn 30, and they have a whole Logan's Run fantasy of Rayford Weigel chasing him as his friend, and they're runner, the whole deal, and that's how I know what renewal was and all that stuff was, because of that movie. And then I saw this movie, and it's like perfect 70s sci-fi. I love the matte paintings. I love the model work, like X mentioned, where they get in the clown car from hell, the bullet train from hell, and you see it's a model right after, but it looks so fluid that you don't care that it's a model. And yeah, like you said, perfectly casted, perfectly written, really, because you kind of have like this whole again an idea of that they've been lied to all this time, and they live in this perfect world where if you're a Sandman, you have anything at your disposal. You live in a perfect utopia where girls will come to you on a video screen and then come for you if you want them to, but
and
not
no
just
one gets married.
And no one gets married, so it's perfect, no strings attached, and world, I'm sure syphilis does not exist at all either. They fix these problems, no burning sensations amongst the Logans and the Francises and the Jessicas. But yeah, it's a good ride. I would say if I had to pick one thing that was wrong with it, it was like it felt like it was a little too long. Like they explored too many action set pieces. Maybe cut out the sex world, the sex room thing, where they're running from Francis. Maybe cut that little part out. Maybe, I don't even know. But fun stuff. And I mentioned Box, portrayed in a way by Roscoe Lee Brown, one of the more celebrated to me African American character actors of the time. What do they do to him? I'm gonna go Hooper X on you. They take his beautiful black visage and they cover him with fucking tinfoil and give him fucking laser guns. and scream about fucking plankton from the sea. Again, going back to the green again. Made of plankton. Plankton runs out. Soylent Green is made out of Logan's Run people. And yeah, that's all fun. But you know, when Peter Ustinov shows up, it gets all better for him, because you know, any little flaw that I saw in this movie is taken away by this bearded fat man who's very aware of where he is and what he's got going on, but has a bevy of cats to talk to. He's like, who needs people when I have cats? That's human psychology right there. Who needs people when you got cats? Because some people suck. See, now the cat, you have to earn their trust, you know, and earn their approval. He's done this for all these cats with 3 names, and I think it's adorable. And I think it's one of the high points of the film, and an important point of the film, because it shows that you can grow past 30. And when they bring him back, it's a big revelation to everybody. But my thing with Logan's Run is there's still the powers that be that exist in this world. What's going to happen when the revival happens and these people possibly get shot dead and they just like eat the old man for dinner or something? I don't understand. You know, it doesn't a very happy ending, but I just don't know what's your end game, Logan. You know, because you're still just one guy. You know, who's trying to convince everybody that this is the way it really is. It's like I need a more bleak Twilight Zone ending to this to maybe feed the sci-fi soul. But but at the same time I'm happy with the ending that we got, because you know, Peter Ustinov is still alive and so are his cats. So, you know, it's a win-win for me. And you almost see full frontal Jenny Agutter when she's changing her clothes. You see the butt, you see the boobs, but you don't see the vajayjay. You see everything else, though. So,
well, you got to watch Walkabout for that.
Yes, you do. That's always a bonus, though. A very sleek, not wearing much Jenny Agutter, and again, great paired. Great chemistry between the 2 characters. Richard Jordan is insane as Francis. Is just like you want him to be, just on the hunt with this obsession with, you know, getting the one that got away. Because like the whole deal is there's certain points of the film where he comes down on the same man. Oh, so you let him get away again, did you? Blah 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 blah. Fucking pussy. They don't say call him a fucking pussy. You know, basically saying you fail. You're a failure as a Sandman if you don't get your man every time. But apparently 1,500 have gotten away and became property and food for Bot to distribute, or Box to distribute, apparently. And worst casualty of the film is Farrah Fawcett's hair, because when she go to the face salon, it's beautiful and feathered out like Farrah Fawcett's hair is. But when she escapes, and with the, what are they called, the rats again, X? The
Cubs.
Escapes in through the tubes.
Yeah, they're the Cubs down there protecting the entrance to Sanctuary.
We traveled in tubes, as Tenacious D says. Well, she did too. And when she came out of the tubes, you know, her hair was flat and very sad looking. So yeah, that's a casualty in Logan's Run, is her hair. And Carousel looking like a very funny, possibly inspired by what was the show, Circus with the Stars in the 70s? You know, those kind of outfits, and flying in the air and exploding like black cat firecrackers. And
oh my God, you're implying that John Davidson was on Carousel?
Maybe he was. He was the inspiration. You know,
that's a huge thing for me to try to process right now.
With Christy McNichol and possibly
and Sarah Purcell.
Yes. Name more names too that would have been on Circus with the Stars. Come on, so you got this. You know, that's oh gosh, I'm done. Yeah, Logan's Run, great sci-fi fare from the 70s. You could do a ton worse than Logan's Run, in all of our opinions.
You could do Damnation Alley.
You could. Why are you dissing George Papard for, man? I don't know if I like you anymore like that. You know?
I'm not dissing George Papard. I'm dissing Jan Michael Vincent trekking through the desert with Dominique Sanda while running away from giant cockroaches, whatever the heck it was.
I have to watch this again. But anywho, final thoughts, Suzanne, on Logan's Run.
No, this is a great movie. And you're right, it was Ridley Scott, but I was thinking of Year of the Dragon, but I was saying Black Rain. So yes, there is a bit of a kerfuffle, but yeah, Logan's Run for me, like I said, it's one of the best dystopian future movies. You can't really do better. I'm sure you can if you try, but it's up there. It's one of mine. I thoroughly enjoy this movie and watch it quite a bit.
Unmute. X. Go ahead, sir.
It is one of my favorite science fiction movies ever. And again, we've talked about how the 70s were an incredibly bleak decade. And you were saying you needed to be a little bit more bleak. I sort of disagree with that. I'm interested how when the people who live in the Dome City discover the existence of the old man, that does more than Logan ever could to get across the point that they've all been lied to, and maybe it's time for societal reform. So I really like that ending. But yeah, I think as far as dealing with heavy topics without delving into them too heavily, which is cool because you still want something to discuss when the movie is over. But yeah, Logan's Run, just fucking top notch. Love it.
Yeah, I like the realism of Clonus Horror a little more than I like Logan's Run, because in the world we live in today, who's to say they won't make like organic 3D printers to where you could build hearts or kidneys or spleens or anything, or whole people for that matter. But yeah, Logan's Run is fine. It's fine fantasy. I have a great time with it. Yeah, poor Roscoe Lee Brown just reduced to a fucking tinfoil man. But I digress in that situation. Something I was gonna mention, I forgot what it was now. God damn it! It was a good point too. I'll remember in an hour. But but no, this is recommended to whoever wants to watch it. You know, just go buy that Blu-ray, go buy that DVD from the pawn shop. Take a chance on it. It's just fun. Go watch how gleeful the Sandmen are when they kill people. Go check that out, because they are really gleeful when they murder a runner. You know, and yeah, red means stop. I'll stop here with this review, and we'll come back and close out the show.
As of today, childbearing is herewith forbidden.
Oliver Reed and Geraldine Chaplin in a new film about a most frightening future.
Mommy, you're my loving.
Doctor, I want to have a baby.
That's impossible, Carol.
I know, but I want my own baby.
You know that's impossible, Carol. No one is allowed to have a baby for the next 22 years.
ZPG is a motion picture that shows what can happen.
What do you think you're doing? One word from me and you and her and the baby have had it.
This could happen to you any day now. Any day now. ZPG. ZPG. Rated PG.
I'm glad you're back again, guys, with you people on this great program. And again, thanks lots of for holding it down, guys, and putting out quality kerfuffles for all. Yes. X, any updates on Kiss the Goat, man?
No.
I'm not putting pressure on you.
No. It's fine. Again, look, I make no excuses. I'm trying to get it going.
You have a great excuse. I'll tell them why next,
Yeah. October's going to be a busy month, and I don't know when we're going to have time to do it. Grandbaby's coming here in about less than 2 weeks.
I'm clapping for you. I'm happy. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, I am too. I just realized that it's going to take a lot of energy to help our daughter out when that baby comes home, because we're not those people who are just like, new kid, cool, see ya, bye. We're not assholes like that.
Yeah, who do you want to have?
So anyway, between that And, our son's birthday is this month, and our anniversary is this month. And listen, if you can't, I just need to say this because it's really just weighing on me heavily. If you can find a way to donate to any charity that is helping Western North Carolina, please do it.
100%. Yes.
Hot Springs, North Carolina, is where Cootie and I have gone for our anniversary almost every year that we've been married. And it's destroyed. There's just hardly anything left. And it makes me very sad because, we kind of got to know the people that live there and work there. We know who to look forward to seeing every time we go. And it's just, it's just mud and filth and glass. And they're like, yeah, if you're coming to help, please bring PPE because we don't know what is in this water or what's been left behind. So absolutely friggin' terrible. So if you can help, please help. And that is almost all I have. Listen, if you were a reader, go over to Biff Bam Pop. It's October. We're doing 31 Days of Horror. For some reason, I've been doing think pieces. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm in that mood, but I've got stuff being published there this month, which some of you might enjoy reading. Where the theme is the devil made them do it, and devil movies are my favorite. So, yeah, check that out if you have 4 or 5 minutes to read an article while you're, on the pot.
Yeah, that's cool, brother. We're all waiting with bated breath when Kiss to Go comes back, and I'm waiting for it. And I'm looking forward to listening to it, and you guys get to it when you get to it. People get busy, and your show is not our little goofing off ass show here. I mean, you guys script and put work into your show and takes into your show. This is a one take show, people. So I don't put work in like X does on his show, and hope you dig it we're laying down. It's just X has a lot more to do in his show than I ever will. So bless him and Cootie for that. Yeah, next episode, you may not hear these guys on that episode because I'm doing a special project with John Cross to get more content to you people and to the folks at the After Movie Diner. So if you're not subscribing to the After Movie Diner, it is a podcast that's been around for 14 years now, and it's a great thing to listen to John Cross talk about films and do Steven Seagal impressions and Jean-Claude Van Damme impressions and sing songs about Donald Pleasance. Yes, that is a thing with him. He sings songs about Donald Pleasance. He has 2 albums full of songs about Donald Pleasance, miscellaneous plumbing fixtures on anywhere you can find music. Go check them out. But me and him are going to be doing celebrating a master thespian, Michael Paré, doing one film of his and then mixing that with we celebrate physical media with some obscure title that may or may not have had a Blu-ray or may or may not have a DVD or a DVD's way out of print. Just saving celluloid for you guys to watch later. We're doing a film you reviewed once for Biff Bam Pop, actually, X. Seizure, we're doing the Oliver Stone film.
The Oliver Stone flick. Oh, my goodness. That's a wild movie.
So we're doing that for sure for our second feature. But that's the vibe of the show is that we're doing a Michael Paré joint because, if you look at his filmography, he's done some wacky shit. And the very first one we're doing for that one is called Dragon Fight, and this is a film where James Hong and Charles Napier run like a Running Man type thing, and Michael Paré decides he wanted to escape into the Arizona desert, and is pursued by Robert Zadar, who is wearing like chainmail and has a battle axe in the desert. So it's Michael Paré versus Robert Zadar of the desert, whilst one of them is wearing battle armor and wielding an axe. So, if you like that, I
feel like I should be in my bunk right now.
Well, if you like that, go check it out on YouTube. It's there somewhere. I think somebody uploaded it with like the whole thing, and then tried to start to upload it again on the same file. So if it says 2 hours, it's actually only 1 hour and 23 minutes of film in which James Hong and Charles Napier are running game on Michael Pare and Robert Zadar as they fight each other in the desert, with battle axes. So that's the plot to Dragon Fight from 1990. And that's the very first Michael Pare joke we were doing in Michael Pare Roulette. Literally, I'm going to make a list of 50 films, and we're going to hit the randomizer, and that is the next film that we will do. Probably something you picked up at the video store or the grocery store video store. Remember those kids, the grocery store video store, and just immediately put down and say, I'm not gonna watch this movie, but we're gonna watch it for you and talk about it because being John Crossey's Michael Pare therapy, and it's gonna be fun. So it'll be for that thing though. I keep over explaining things. There'll be one episode here. Well, one episode, first of all, will be on the After Movie Diner feed. This is why it's important to follow and subscribe to After Movie Diner. And the next episode will be on this feed. So you have to subscribe to both feeds and get some great content. And to get all the Michael Pare / physical media celebration goodness out of myself and John Cross. Yeah, but next up on this show, we have a couple of options. We should do some horror stuff. So I think we might come up with some horror stuff to do for October. Something fun, something silly probably. Haven't decided what that is yet. But it's going to come in your ears sooner rather than later. As long as, Rhiannon, X's daughter doesn't drop quadruplets on the world or something, and unexpected triplets or something. She's just a little thing, guys. She doesn't need triplets in her life. Okay, she's just a little thing.
I would be very sad if she had triplets. I don't know.
Painful for poor Rhiannon. Okay.
Oh, that's a lot.
Oh my gosh. But that's it for this. This has been your Cinebeef podcast, where if you've got beef, we all renew. Have a good one, guys.
There is no sanctuary.